Bang! What is up, our National Wrestling Shooters members and viewers? This is Scott Casey Gale, the owner, Tim Quaid, and founding father of National Wrestling Shooters. And today, I'm going to give you my recap and review of NWA Powerrr Episode 5, entitled James Storm vs. Colt Cabana. And I gotta say, NWA Powerrr just keeps getting better and better. As a matter of fact, Episode 5 was the craziest episode yet. And in my opinion, a lot of great old school wrestling commentary, interviews, and segments. Okay, let's begin with the recap, shall we? Here we go. The commentators for the show were Jim Cornette and Joe Gowdy. Okay, the show began with a big review of last week's episode and the outcome of the main event six-man tag that leads to James Storm versus Colt Cabana for the national title tonight's show. I like it. I always like how they do the recap of last week's episodes. And then Dave Marquez brought out Colt Cabana. He said he deserves to be in the main event, and he is 100%. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a good way to open the show. I know there's some people that like Colt Cabana and some people don't, but I don't mind him. I think Colt Cabana is a good wrestler. And then Marquez's next guest was Aaron Stevens and discussed his loss to Ricky Starks last week. He added he is the greatest grandson of William Shakespeare, quoted him. He threatens to leave the NWA for Hollywood if they don't give him a rematch with Starks. I gotta say, Aaron Stevens just keeps getting better and better. He never disappoints. He's just great on the mic, and he's great especially with the interview segments. He's an amazing heel, and he plays his character up to perfection. Like I've said many times before, WWE really made a big mistake because they really ended up dropping the ball with him in the end. And when they got Aaron Stevens in NWA because he's being booked the way he should. And then there was a spot for WrestleMania Wrestling featuring Nick Aldis with 8-bit video game graphics and cheesy editing in the style of the regular spots. I thought that was pretty cool in my opinion. In the first match, the Dawsons versus Matthew Mims and Jordan Kingsley. The Dawsons double-teamed Kingsley and threw him around the ring until Mims was tagged. The Dawsons won after hitting a double powerbomb to Mims. Winners the Dawsons at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I thought this was a pretty good quick match. See, that's what I like about NWA. I like how the matches are quick and they're never boring. They're always entertaining. They don't disappoint. And then, after the match, the Dawsons said they want to shock the NWA tag titles and were confronted by Eddie Kingston and Homicide. Kingston made no excuses for losing their no disqualification match, despite the interference, but want a rematch. Kingston and Homicide have an outstanding title shot and will put that on the line in a rematch match, and the Dawsons will think about it. I like it. I like how the Dawsons said they would think about it. Kind of classic heel moment there. And then Joe Gowdy interviewed Tim Storm and asked about retirement. He knew he couldn't be on the mountaintop forever and was proud of his effort in losing to Aldis. Gowdy mentioned the NWA title is no longer in his grasp, and Storm was devastated at hearing those words, but praises all the titles in NWA. And then Nick Aldis took Storm away and said, "None of this happens without you, and you're not allowed and do not allow Eli Drake to get in his head and won't let him walk away with this." I thought there was a pretty good interview segment with Joe Gowdy and I thought that was Tim Storm. Tim Storm, not sure if he Tim Storm, not sure if he wants to retire, if he wants to continue going on. I like that, and I also like how Nick Aldis took Storm away and said none of this happens without not to allow Eli Drake to get in his head and won't let him walk away from this. So it looks like Tim Storm is going to continue to wrestle. I like that. See, that's what I like about NWA. You never know what's going to happen and gives the fans what they want. And then, next was Ashley Box versus Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa attacked Box with kicks and elbows. Box escaped the body scissors and fought back. Rosa escaped the submission and hit a double foot stomp up the top to the back and won. Winner Thunder Rosa at 3 minutes and 17 seconds. This is a pretty good match. I'm really impressed with Thunder Rosa. I'm looking forward to seeing what she could do in the NWA. And Ashley Box also put on a good match. See, this is classic women's wrestling, old school wrestling, and I've said it many times before. This is what I also like about NWA. The women can be themselves, and they can put on a better, really good matches and never disappoint. And then, after the match, Marty Bell went to protect Fox and sent Thunder Rosa away. They are slowly establishing the women's division with added members of the division on a weekly basis. The match was very quick, but fine for what it was. And then, yeah, and I agree. I like how Marty Bell came down to protect Fox and sent Thunder Rosa away. So yes, they're definitely slowly building the women's division, and that's what's good about it. That's a good thing, because they know how to book these women, and that's what WWE needs to learn, and even the AEW women's division. And then Mosca spoke to Bell. She called Allison Key her best friend. She was hurt by Kay stating Bell isn't ready. This prompted Kay to come out and ask why she couldn't speak to her privately. And then Thunder Rosa would turn and attack Kay from behind while Bell watched. Eventually, Bell entered the ring and paused before attacking Kay instead of helping her former friend. Ooh, this was awesome. I enjoyed this. Because I like how this played out. So it looks like we're gonna have. So it looks like we're gonna have a match between Marty Bell and Kay in the future. I'm interested to see that. And then it was Aaron Stevens versus Ricky Starks in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Stevens charged Starks, who ward up Stevens for the first fall in the 5 seconds while he was still taking his ring accessories off. And then Starks quoted Charles Dickens before chopping Stevens and got a great pop from the crowd. Stevens poked him in the eyes and they stomped him. Starks came back and hit a tornado DDT for a 2 count. Stevens got cocky and did his low blow. Audience allowed Starks to cradle him for the win in 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Winner Ricky Starks in 2-0. I really wish Aaron Stevens would have gotten a win, but all in all, it was a good match and it was entertaining. I do think that Aaron Stevens is good, but I think they're slowly building him to be a heel underdog. I think that's what NWA is doing with his character, having him lose his first 2 matches, and they're slowly building him into where he's gonna get really frustrated and be a really badass heel and start cheating to win. I think that's where they're going with him. And then after that, Stevens shook the shock of losing both falls to Starks, who is rising star they are protecting and getting over with the audience. Starks has loads of charisma, and Stevens has caught on a great way playing off the crowd. I like that. See, this is what I like. Yes, I'm impressed with Ricky Starks. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's a good wrestler. And then it was James Storm versus Colt Cabana for the NWA National title. Ken Anderson was in Cabana's corner. Eli Drake was also ringside. Storm attacked Cabana's left leg at the beginning. Cabana got his feet up as Storm came off the turnbuckle. Storm landed a top rope elbow drop for a 2 count. Cabana landed with the bionic elbow up the turnbuckle, was caught off with a backstabber. Storm hit the eye of the storm that Cabana kicked out from. Drake got onto the apron to complain about the court and was yanked down by Anderson, and they struck each other. Camille was down and got into Anderson's face. Out of nowhere, Cabana sent Storm to the mat and covered him with the Superman pin and won the title. Winner Colt Cabana at 7 minutes and 57 seconds to win the NWA National title. Really good match. Really good match between Colt. Really good match. Really good entertaining match between James Storm and Colt Cabana. Congratulations to Colt Cabana on winning the NWA National title. I really enjoyed this. It was a great match. I mean, this is how you book a match. This is how you book a title match. NWA knows what they're doing. Billy Corgan is doing a phenomenal job. 5 episodes in, and they have not disappointed. It just keeps getting more and more interesting. And then Storm told Cabana he would see him again. Also had words for Anderson before exiting. That I also like that. Then the Dawsons returned and told Mosca they accept Kingston and Homicide's challenge and want the match now. They had already promoted the match from next week's episode. A little swerve there. That's what I also like about wrestling, how they kind of swerve us. And then so was the main event. It was the Dawsons versus Eddie Kingston and Homicide. side, which this match was supposed to be next week, but they decided to have it this week, which I thought was pretty cool. So it was the Dawsons versus Eddie Kingston Homicide. The Dawsons attacked Kingston in the corner and knocked Homicide off the apron to maintain the advantage. Kingston hit an STO on Zayn Dawson and made a hot tag. Homicide did the forever clothesline that Gowdy referenced. Thomas Latimer and Royce Isaacs ran down to attack Homicide and led to the Rock and Roll Express fighting up the wild card to a big reaction. Back fist to the Future King by Kingston and a Gringo cutter from Homicide onto Dave Dawson. So they won the match. Winners Eddie Kingston and Homicide at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. The Rock and Roll Express returned to celebrate with the winners in the end. Really good tag team match. I really enjoyed this. I was very impressed. Plus, see, this is how you book tag team wrestling. Both the Dawsons and Eddie Kingston Homicide put on a great main event. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed seeing the Rock and Roll Express. So I would give this episode 5 stars, 10 out of 10, and an 8 triple plus. And I'm looking forward to next week's episode. NWA and AEW have both brought my passion back for wrestling. And speaking of AEW Dynamite, I will be reviewing AEW Dynamite later on today. Anyway, you comment down below in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about NWA Powerrr episode 5 and what are you looking forward to next week's episode. Anyway, you stay classy, live long and prosper, and peace out.